Okay. City of Carrizo Springs will meet in special session October 6, 2015 at 5 p.m. at City Hall, Municipal Building, 308 West Kenya Street, Carrizo Springs, Texas, 78834. I go to item number 1, call meeting to order. It is 5:03. Item number 2, roll call and establishment of quorum. I'll start to my right.
Alden Garza.
Sofia Moron.
Dina Ojeda Valderas.
Oscar Puente.
Quorum is established. We'll go to item number 3, welcome and recognition of guests. Thank you all for being in attendance tonight. We'll go to item number 4, pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mario, do I need to skip forms 5 and 6?
Just 5 minutes.
Okay, we'll go to item number 6, discussion and appropriate action approving resolution 496, authorizing and providing for the incurrence of indebtedness for the purpose of providing a portion of the cost of acquiring, constructing, enlarging, improving, and or extending to provide wastewater service facility to serve an area lawfully within its jurisdiction to serve.
Mayor, that's the second loan that we were going afterwards. It's in the amount of $594,000. That's the to finish out the wastewater contract, and that's on 2.125% or lower, depending, at the time that we sign the actual documents. And so this is needed to complete the financing of the wastewater plant. As you all remember back, recollecting, during the meeting, special meeting we had, we passed the first document there, which was 5.7 million, whatever the total amount was. This is the second resolution that we needed, so that we can complete this. Then go ahead and award, the contract, which we have already awarded, but we haven't signed the documents yet. We would find a total.
Yes, we do, sir.
I so moved that we go ahead and appropriate the necessary funds.
Motion is made by Councilman Garza. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second is made by Councilman Puente. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. Go to item number 7, discussion and appropriate action to approve funds for project graduation. Mario.
We have a request from the school to well, you do have it. It's for the Carrizo Springs High School project graduation. You should have a handout there. They're requesting some funds for that project itself, and there are donation levels of which the council approved, decide as to which one they might want to approve. The bronze is at 200, the silver 500, the gold 1,000, the platinum 2,000 and up. So it's up to the council. If the council wishes to approve this request, let us know. Let me have a motion on this.
Do we have any questions?
Does this come from the general fund, or where does it come from?
This will come from the general fund. We'll have to find, the funds, for this, since it's this item and the item on the addendum, we're not budgeted, so we'll have to find some funds, somewhere in that to be able to pay for this.
What do you propose on this? We're not budgeted for this. Go with the silver, with gold?
Well, I mean, we want to help out, but considering the circumstances where we're at, we need to look at the lower amounts. I mean,
So.
I was thinking bronze myself too. $200. I don't think that's going to make a dent in our general fund.
I agree with that.
I don't know. What do y'all think?
Well, that sounds, I mean, I would say, either that or the silver, but of course not the gold and the platinum. I mean,
Yeah,
we're trying to cut corners everywhere. It's coming from the general fund.
We'll approve whatever you say, Mario.
Well, I agree also, yeah, I mean, we've cut, you know, the employees, we've cut expenditures, and so, you know, I will recommend that, you know, we do approve that bronze at the $200 level.
I'll make a motion that we go with the, let it matter, go ahead and approve the bronze award.
Motion is made by Councilman Garza. Do I have a second?
I second.
Second is made by Councilman Fuentes. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Abstain. One abstain, Ms. Sofia Morones. Motion is carried. I will move back to item number 5. Consideration and approval of ordinance 748, authorizing the issuance of City of Carrizo Springs, Texas, combination tax and limited pledge revenue certificates of obligation, Series 2015, providing for the payment of the certificates by the levy of an ad valorem tax upon all taxable property within the city, and further securing the certificates by a lien on an limited pledge of the net revenues of the city's water and wastewater system not to exceed $1,000, providing the terms and conditions of certificates and resolving other matters incident and relating to the issuance, payment, security, sale, and delivery of the certificates, authorizing the execution of a paying agent registrar agreement, and providing for an effective date. Mario.
We have Mr. Aguilera, bond attorney for the City of Carrizo Springs. We're backing up into this as we already had approved the loan itself, but go ahead. You know, have this to
Very similar.
Thank you very much, and thank you again for the opportunity to be here again with you. As you may recall, I was here last week, hello, Mr. Garza, and we discussed at that time there was a notice of intention that was approved by the city, and at that time we were contemplating, because at that time we were looking and working with Mr. Martinez and also with the USDA as to thinking that since the USDA loan had been approved, or you had been approved for the to move forward with the loan more than 2 years ago. At that time, you were looking at a loan amount of $5,774,000 at 2.125%, and that was what was approved last week at this time. Last week at this time, we were having a conversation with the USDA. We're trying to see, and you were approved. I got a letter, as a matter of fact, that same, like an hour before I left, where it said that you had now been approved for an additional $594,000. And I think, again, with Mr. Martinez and your staff working with the USDA, they've identified that there was going to be additional monies. The projections that were made 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, were not sufficient. The good news is that it's only in the tune of $594,000 that they're looking at, as opposed to, you know, being several $million. So that's the good news. As I told you in the past, last week, when we adopted the notice of intention, we provided specifically that the city may issue one or more series of bonds. So we used one notice of intention, and we say one or more series of bonds, and we put a limit on the first one, which was, I believe, help me, was it over $7 million that we had? Because we knew it wasn't going to be more than $7 million. So now, last week, you approved $5,774,000. On the second prong of the notice, we said an amount not to exceed $1.9 million. Again, ceiling, but now we're coming back and saying no, it's going to be $594,000. So those are the two numbers we have. The other thing is that we found out last week, as I explained to you, was that the USDA said, and I recommended, and I said, why don't we just do one financing? And they said, no, we can't do that because the $5,774,000 was approved back in 2.5 years ago in 2013. This new amount, the $594,000, was just approved within the last I guess, weeks or so, right, Mario?
That's correct.
It's not been that long. So therefore, administratively, they had to have two different ordinances, so that's why we went ahead and did that. We have, this is identical as what we had last time, except that the amount now is $594,000, and that's the amount that I guess has been identified as being needed, and the USDA approving to be able to work with you and move forward with that amount. It's the same terms as we discussed in the past, which are that we are looking, the ordinance says an interest rate of 2.125%. But if the interest rate is lower at the time of closing, and we're looking to close sometime next month, then you will then get the lower interest rate. Now, in discussions that Mr. Martinez and I had with USDA, it looks like the interest rate right now is 2%. So that's good. So the ordinance then allows us to be able to move forward as long as the interest rate does not go over more than 2.125%. And again, I can't put words in the mouth of USDA, but from what they're telling us, it's looking at, it's going to be 2%.
Do we have any more questions for Mr. Aguilar? Mario, do you have anything more?
No. It's been
Well,
said,
and the bids have come in, Mario, you don't want to talk
the
about that?
the bids have come in, they have been awarded. We are just waiting for the funding,
And everything.
the actual funding, and then, we'll give them a timeline.
And the bids and everything is going to be less than the $5,774,000 plus the $594,000, whatever that
Yes,
amount is.
whatever the amount is.
It's going to be less than that.
Those are the bids we looked at it last week on the last.
Yes.
We just need a motion to approve or deny
Yes,
ordinance
Mayor.
748.
Yes,
I make a motion that we approve resolution, ordinance 748.
I'll second that.
Motion is made by Councilwoman Morones, seconded by Councilman Garza. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion is carried.
Thank you very much, and I'm going to leave the documents just like I did last time. I know that the city is wanting to move with this thing as fast as we can, because I understand that just the rental fees are astronomical. So we're working hard, and if I may, Mayor, if I might take the opportunity, USDA and Jody Ochoa have been really tremendous, I think. And they have not only just going out at the last minute and stepping up and trying to find that additional $594,000, at 2%, what we're looking to do. I think that's great. So if you see Mr. De Ochoa, you may want to thank him.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Mario, to go to the addendum, do I need to adjourn this meeting and then to the addendum, or?
No, we just go directly to that item number 1 on the agenda.
Addendum, okay. I move to item number 1 of the addendum of tonight's agenda, and that is item 1, discussion and appropriate action on approving the City of Carrizo Springs Independent School District request for funding half of the fireworks display for the homecoming bonfire. Mario.
And there's a request from the school for one half of the funding for the fireworks display for the homecoming to bonfire. I'm assuming, I think it's going to cost them $2,000, and so they're asking for $1,000 for the bonfire. And like I said, those funds, we'll have to find these funds, to be approved. We'll have to find them from a general fund also, and put them in our books.
This cannot come out of the motel comes?
No, sir. And the reason for it is because it has nothing to do with the actual festival, where we're going to be attracting citizens from outside the city. Strictly a school activity, parents, a city activity.
So there's gonna be a bonfire and fireworks this week?
Not just fireworks.
No bonfire?
No, that was burned.
Because of the construction at the old high school.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's their spot right there.
Yes.
Where they have
Didn't we spend $2,000 cleaning up the bonfire mess up there?
We spent
With
$2,000 separating the brush from the trash. And so someone went up there and lit up the bonfire.
Yeah.
They tell me they have it, but I don't know who it was. I'm assuming the same kids, local kids, I'm not sure.
We need a motion to approve the $1,000.
Yes, sir.
Is there any more questions?
The question is, do we have the money?
We'll have to find it. I
Well,
wish I had a lot more, but.
They have to understand that, you know, predicament where we're at. I mean, we're going back and, you know, doing pay cuts and all this and all that, and every penny counts it for us to turn this around. And we would more than love to help, but, you know, I don't think that we should. That's,
Does it have to be 1,000? Can we give like 500 maybe?
It's up to the council to decide, you know, the amount of
they're not
dollars
asking for one hand, so
that
that
you
would
want
be-
to give out, you know, donate,
Right.
distribute to the school. Whether they would do the show, if they don't have the money, I don't know, I can't say that.
Well, that's another question is, if they don't
Yeah.
reach the funding, are they not gonna have it, or?
I'm assuming that they won't, unless they can identify themselves.
So we don't have to agree upon the $1,000, it's pretty much,
That's correct. It's up to the council as a whole to decide, you know, what they want to donate.
I think we could go a lower amount, but certainly not $1,000 at this point.
They can always sell apples on the street or something, make up for the difference.
Sure.
I don't know if I want to do that, though. Well, whatever y'all decide.
Well, we need a motion either way, you know, either a motion for lesser amount, that amount, or, you know,
or no amount.
or no amount.
Well, I mean, we want to help out, but, you know, we have to look at where we're at right now. I would say, you know, 300 would be our part of helping out.
You wanna make that in the form of a motion?
Yeah.
Motion is made by Councilman Puente in the amount of $300. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councilman Garza. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
One abstain, Councilwoman Morones. Motion carries. Okay, go to item number 2, adjournment.
Make motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Motion is made by Councilwoman Morones. Do I have a second?
Aye, second.
Seconded by Councilman Fuente. All in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion is carried and it is 5:21. Thank you. Thank you all for being here tonight.
Thank you.
Dude,
We'll be moving along.
yeah.